I'm Christopher Walken, and I'm a scruffy looking Nerf Herder.
And welcome everybody to the Infernal Brotherhood, Scruffy Looking, or Brotherhood of the Infernal Scruffy blah 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 blah. We're not cutting that.
We're Scruffy Looking Nerf Herders.
Yes, we're Scruffy Looking Nerf Herders. Would you believe it? I'm sober. Anyways, this is a live streaming YouTube vidcast.
As you can
Star Wars
clearly tell.
Yeah, I am. Oh God, you guys never tried this. Oh God, it'll fuck you up and not the
It
best
reminds
way.
me of the Wizard of Oz, and the Tin Man's like, oil! And then Dorothy whips that out.
So, yeah, that shit wouldn't have happened. It would have been a shit show. More of a shit show than it was. Elf
like that.
would have made it.
It hurt my feelings. I like Wizard of
Oh,
Oz.
no. I love Wizard of Oz, too. I'm just saying that Elphaba would have fucking, won.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, if she had been like, oh, this isn't oil, but I'll fucking pour some space punch on you. Yeah. Yeah, that would have been the end of her career, too.
Okay.
Anyways, this is made by Star Wars fans for Star Wars fans. And tonight, we're going to discuss the one, the only, the god among men, Lando Calrissian. Or, sorry, as I found out earlier, his full name is Landonis. Because that just sounds awesome, doesn't it?
Landonis.
Landonis, whatever.
Landonis.
That actually does sound a little bit cooler than how my really shitty Utah accent pronounced it.
Go down the creek with Landonis.
No, crick.
Sorry.
It's a crick.
Fuck. It is.
There's no E's in there. It's
true.
I.
It's true.
And a whole lot of your sister's pubes. Because that's the show we're going to have today.
That's fucked up. Okay. We just dived right in. All right. Let's
right in.
Let's get into the sister pubes then.
Fuck yeah.
Jeez. I'm excited about this episode because, quite frankly, Lando has been one of my favorite characters from the first time I saw Empire till the first time I saw Solo. I absolutely loved the character, and even when he did the Colt 45 commercials, I still dig it. I still loved him. I can't help it. I'm a fan of Lando, and even though it was the actor and not Lando himself, as a kid, I didn't see a difference. So
No, of course, because Billy D is Lando Calrissian. Like everybody else, I mean, Mark Hamill, whatever. He's a bunch of different things. He's the trickster. He's the Joker. He's the cock knocker. Like he's different things. Same with everybody else. But yeah, Billy D is Lando.
Yeah, and I don't necessarily think that it was impression in Solo. I still like Donald Glover's. He kind of did an impression. He didn't own Lando, but I was okay with that because, of course, Billy D couldn't rewind time and thin his face, and I mean he's a fucking old man by now, so I can accept that. We've got a lot of speculation to do because I want to talk about Episode 9, but we've got a lot to talk about before then.
Yeah, let's start off small.
Let's ease in. As my wife always reminds me whenever we start anal, ease in. No, I'm just kidding.
Just kidding. He doesn't have sex. He's married.
I want to be pansexual like Lando. Londo.
Are we getting there already?
Is that what Han said when Lando called Han Han? Han was like, it's actually Han Londo, but it's okay.
That's what he should have said.
Yeah. It's like young Frankenstein.
He's quick on his fucking feet. You think he would have thought of that?
Seriously. If Igor could do it in Young Frankenstein, now it's pronounced Igor. Why can't Han do it to Londo? I don't know. It seems it's an easy slight to win because Lando would be a little bit fucking bugged by that.
Oh yeah.
I perfume my hair and you can't pronounce my name? That
He's got a fucking cape closet.
He was vlogging before it was popular.
That's true. That is very true.
We're going to get into it. Oh man. Okay, so should we dive into the discussion? Meaning
Let's just go
the
right
photo
in.
frame.
There we go. Let's see
There it
this
is.
fucking amazing man.
Magical cape.
Just that cape. Oh my god.
I think this is the longest version of the cape we will ever see. I don't know
Yeah.
why I included this one, other than Clown City, but it's
Whatever.
whatever. Who cares? This
Cloud
is-
City. That's cool. We'll look at Cloud City.
Oh yeah.
There we go.
Therm Scissor Punch.
That's just one of the best names ever.
It really is.
That's why it's a good thing I'm never having kids, because I would fucking name my child that.
Therm Scissor Punch. Is Therm Scissor Punch here?
That'd be like middle name though. It would probably start like Han or something like that. I don't know.
Han Therm Scissor Punch Cameron.
Well, it'd be Skeletor at the end.
Oh my god.
So that kid would never get fucked up.
He'd have to do that a lot. He-Man.
Smash.
Okay.
So, anyways, Adam, to you, what defines Lando's character?
Everything that prepubescent Adam wanted to be to women. Smooth, debonair. I feel like he could talk the panties off of anyone. And I so desperately wanted to be able to do that and failed so miserably. So many times.
Yeah.
Like that was the first impression. Like I always had a crush on Leia, obviously.
Everybody did.
Every human being does, man or woman or child. And he was that close to fucking having it with her. Like,
I don't know. I'm pretty sure her heart was with Han the whole time. But that's a whole other discussion.
okay. We're going to have to discuss love triangles because I still think
Okay.
that her heart could be with Han and have a fling with Lando. Like, I don't know that one is mutually exclusive, forbidding the other. I could totally see her and Han having like I'm going to be flipping between Han and Han all night. Having like an argument as they are wont to do, and she just runs. I'm gonna fuck Lando, Han, and just runs off and just. I can't see her doing that, but in my mind, in my fantasy version,
I want to, damn it.
in my fan fiction, this happens. And Lando's just like, oh yeah, you truly do belong with me amongst the clouds. So smooth, this guy. So that was my connection. What was yours?
I couldn't have said it better. It was just like everything I wanted to be. I mean, of course, Han Solo is just fucking awesome. That's who you want to grow up to be, run around shooting people, flying shit, having a giant, friend that you have to look up to like this that can just punch people in the head and kill them. I mean, that's fucking cool, but I mean, when it boils down to it, you want to get some tail, and if anybody can, it's Lando.
Yeah. And that was one thing that the movies never really paid off because, of course, they're directed toward kids and families, and it's just meant to be an awesome space sort of fantasy adventure. But the book, Last Shot, paid off in spades.
Yes, it did.
So I never thought I would be reading, or in this case, I was listening to an audiobook of other people reading passages about Lando, the tightness of Lando's ass, the bulge in his pants.
Oh my god, yeah, I had to pull the car over when I heard that.
So weird. Like I never expected to hear that in a Star Wars novel.
No.
So
No,
good,
and it's
though.
so funny too, because with the direction that they've gone with, like the openness of sexuality in the new Star Wars books, like even all that shit being said, like same-sex couples and like blatant sexuality being there, you don't expect to hear about his ass and shit.
Yeah, like in
Yeah, it was
detail
pretty
about
awesome.
his ass.
Yeah,
That blew me
great
away.
detail.
And I want to tack onto that thought too, because from a certain point of view, completely opened up Star Wars.
Oh god, yes. It
I
did.
was stunned by that.
The mouse droid.
Yeah, well, it was the mouse droid, and it was the what was the dude's name? It was K2, the guy that was missing from the first one. Why aren't you at your post?
Oh, TK427.
TK427. Wasn't he the one that was in the relationship?
Yeah, he was the one that had the mouse droid.
I mean, just That was amazing. Like
I never saw that. Being why TK427 wasn't there. Like that was holy shit.
I thought Han just knocked his ass out, and that's why he wasn't there. I didn't know it was because he was trying to get his freak on.
No, he wasn't trying. He fucking owned that Imperial officer, and good for him. Aim up.
Yeah. And coming from a military background, that stuff does happen. Like, really, it does happen. It's not spoken about, but it is known to occur. And so it's nice to see, even in a galaxy far, far away, we can openly talk about it, and the world won't end. And this is the kind of part of what I genuinely don't understand about the modern movement to shout down what they, as this sort of current Star Wars version of group says about the modern version, is that stop throwing your politics and your social agendas. I mean, Star Wars has always had social agendas from the beginning. If you ever listen to George Lucas ever talking about what the symbolism is behind the story, but more to the point, I always imagined, like, and we're going to get into this a little bit later, but when it came out, when Solo was being released in theaters, that Lando was pansexual, I always assumed he was like that. I never considered that he only liked women, or he only liked a certain type of woman, or he was just, like, that type of a character. In order to be that open and flamboyant, I just assume he's down for whatever he's down for. And it doesn't matter what other people think or any other political or social conventions. Like, we're in a galaxy far, far away. Why would we be held down by our puritanical beliefs?
Yeah, that's bullshit.
It doesn't make sense to me. So I never thought that was an issue, and we'll get into it a little further in the future. But yeah, I mean, as far as like Lando, his attraction as a character from Empire, you're led in to this idea of him like, oh, I'm sure he's forgotten about that. He's a friend.
Yeah.
Like, they had some history, and so you're like, well, what's the history? And you're never told. Like, you're never led into the secret. And I would argue that maybe we never have yet known the real story. We've just been given what we think is the story of, winning or taking the Millennium Falcon from him, winning it.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, you got to figure, let's see, between Empire and Solo, there's what, like,
wasn't
10,
it like
15 years difference?
It was 10 years to New Hope, right?
Yeah, okay, so we've got about 12 years difference between when we saw him in Solo till when we see him in Empire.
Yeah. I
mean, that's a long fucking time to have, like, they continuously will run into each other over the years. Just having one movie and a couple books, of course we don't know the entire story between them and what all has happened.
Yeah. I'm not sure I really want to know everything, but I love that mystery element too,
Yeah, it's just like the sabacc dice with Han.
Yeah.
Like, it's just fucking cool. I want to make up my own stories, and that's part of the fun with fantasy.
I think that's really the true strength of Star Wars. From the early days, all we had was, you fought with my father in the Clone Wars? Like, that's all we knew. And that was like, oh my gosh, there's like this deeper lore that we have.
Yeah.
We're never going to, at the time, we're never going to discover. And we get to fill in those gaps. And that was exciting. And so there was this blackout of any Star Wars content for years and years and years. And that's what kept people going, is that there was this established lore that was alluded to, but not explicitly called out. And we still have that, even though we've had so much development in this galaxy far, far away, we still have so much of that available to us now of, you don't know everything, so please speculate. And it drives me crazy when people speculate and are shout down those who are disappointed from their speculation. Well, the reality is Star Wars lends itself that you speculate. And you can't help but either fall in love or be disappointed by what comes out of it. But there's nothing wrong with that. At least I wouldn't think so. What about you?
No. That's the fun. I mean, it's like a good horror movie, too. Like, you don't know everything. Like, those are the best. Those are the ones that get in your head and stay there.
Yeah.
It's when you don't know everything, so you pick that one fucking thing, and that becomes your everything. Like, you just delve into that, making your own stories. I mean, God, before I discovered the books, I mean, that was my favorite part of Star Wars, was the little what-ifs on the side.
Hell yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So as far as Lando's initial exposure to us, did you see that betrayal coming at all? Like, I don't think they led with that. I don't think they sort of elbowed you saying this is going to happen. And I don't know.
It was a chance encounter with an old friend. And that's how it was up until you obviously get to the dinner scene.
Like, is it weird that they led with Han saying, fuck, dude, I can't. I'm getting so mixed up. With Han Solo saying, it's an old friend. We're going to go meet up with an old friend. I'm sure he's forgotten about that. Like, is that the foreshadowing that we're supposed to be able to extrapolate into later when the doors open and we see Darth Vader at the dinner table? Or were they just not even tipping their hat at all? I
mean, to be fair, it's been, a good few decades since I saw it the first time. Mm-hmm. But that's my recollection. It never seemed like a thing. Like, there was that absolute shock when, holy shit, Darth Vader's there. What the fuck? How'd that happen?
Yeah. And I thought it was so beautifully paid off when Han came out of the torture room and said, he never asked me anything. Like, just, I thought that was the most beautiful payoff to that betrayal, is that it was literally seemingly to the people being captured and tortured for nothing. Which just made it that much worse. Like, they didn't know he was baiting Luke through the Force. They just knew that, they were being fucked up for no goddamn reason, which is just brilliant to me. Ugh. And all the larger betrayal on Lando's part, for having done that. But there is something to be said about his character in that, well, is there? Okay, so the only time he actually starts to consider his friends is when the threat of the Empire leaving a garrison behind. Then he flips from the...
Oh, yeah. That wasn't a part of the deal.
Yeah. Pray I do not alter the deal further, or whatever it is. Yeah. That was so... His interactions with Vader, you can really feel the power balance, shifts. Like, whenever Vader's interacting... Waver. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
He doesn't waver at all. I mean, he gets pissed. That's about it.
Well, like, he's a bold enough character. Lando is a bold enough character to step up to someone like Vader, who everyone else would be completely cowering just on sight. To be in his presence would be cowering. At least Lando has the cojones to be like, whoa, that wasn't the deal. Yeah. Like, you can't take the girl and the Wookiee too. But, I mean, you can't really stand up to Vader in the long run. So, kudos for how long he did.
Yeah.
Do you remember now that I'm looking at it on the screen, do you remember the Rebels cameo?
A little bit. That was towards the end of the series, when I was not sleeping very much, so I could try to cram it all in before I got it. I do remember being like, oh my god, it's Lando. And then he wins Chopper and all that shit. That was cool. But I always too much.
Yeah, I always liked it because... One, it's nice to see a cameo of, one of the OGs of the Star Wars trilogy. Oh, yeah. But also, he's scheming. He's scheming, and he's using the Rebel crew against it. And this goes to sort of the professional career of Lando Calrissian. So he starts as a smuggler and a gambler, realizes after he loses the Millennium Falcon, maybe he's not the best smuggler, and now that he doesn't have the means, he needs to focus solely on gambling. And then when it comes to the Star Wars Rebels era, like 10 years after the Clone Wars, he has to seriously think about, like, what am I going to do next? And so mining seems, for whatever reason, to be in his cards. And so he tries to get this puffer fish from this crime syndicate. And he has to.
It was a puffer pig.
I'm sorry.
Thank you. It was a pig.
It totally was. I totally apologize. It was a puffer pig, but it did blow up at one point in the cartoon, right?
Yes,
like,
yes,
if
it did.
Memory serves.
Yes.
Just like a puffer fish. So this puffer pig, which was just adorable and stupid on every level.
That was so pointless, but I fucking loved it.
But it was great because it was like all of those truffle sniffing pigs in our real world.
That's exactly what it was.
Yeah, it was the best way to get minerals quick. It just, that was Lando's MO. Like, how do I get rich quick? Find a puffer pig, use whatever means I have to, betray whoever I have to, in order to get this pig so that I can start this mining colony in the best possible way. Yeah. I just thought it was brilliant. Like, it was just so fun, and it pays off the character. Like, he is not he will do what's right if he has the opportunity. What's right is the cosmic Star Wars sense of what's right and wrong, siding with the rebels. But if it doesn't immediately benefit him, no, he won't. He'll totally go against you.
Yeah. Well, and I dug it. I dug his cameo in Rebels. I felt it paid off more than with Leia. Like, Leia, it was cool. I mean, you get a lot more of the backhanded scheming thing before A New Hope with Leia, Princess of Alderaan.
Right.
But with this, like, it wasn't just a cameo. Like, it actually served a purpose to the story to have him in there, and that's why they had him in 2 episodes versus just like 1.
I gotta say, I didn't appreciate Leia's cameo until I read Leia.
Yeah, no, that made a world of difference. Like, it was like, oh, cool, yeah, you're dropping off shit. And then and then reading that book, it did change how I saw that episode.
Yeah. So as far as Lando, I mean, with almost, I'd say with half of the characters we encounter in the Star Wars universe, there's some form of a progression. Do you think Lando ever went through a progression from Solo to, like, Return of the Jedi?
No, I mean, unfortunately, this is one of those characters that's so big, like, everybody loves him, but really, we don't have much screen time of him. Right. I mean, well, counting Solo, of course, we get a little bit more, but prior to Solo, we didn't have much. So you don't
even
really
then
see...
he's a B character, you know.
Yeah, that's very true. So it's not like there's too much progression. I mean, you can see his loyalty shift a little bit, like going from just being about himself, you know, in the beginning to being more of the group. Other than that, I really don't see much. Like, he's definitely a self-actualized man. Like, from the first time we see him, even the first time we see him in Solo. Yeah. Like, he knows who the fuck Lando Calrissian is.
Yeah, like, he has gone to great lengths to cultivate this sense of who he is, and brilliantly, to his credit, spread that notoriety out to the galaxy, which he must have. You know, to have that air of notoriety, he has to have done some pretty amazing stuff in his youth, or have really great connections, like PR managers or something.
Yeah.
Which leads me into the Calrissian Chronicles. How brilliant! I don't know. Is it pure egomaniacal to want to create a trilogy narrative off of your own, bloviating your own life experiences like Lando Calrissian does, or is it just brilliant and feeding into his shtick, his style?
I think it fits perfect with him, and it does make sense, and especially with him, he is a storyteller, and we definitely get that with Solo movie. So it just makes sense that somebody that's got that big of a head and has supposedly been on so many damn adventures is going to make a book of sorts. Yeah, I'd fucking read it. I'd read it numerous times.
I totally
like,
would too.
Oh my god! Like, Last Shot. As soon as I finished it, I started reading it again. That's a good one.
That was a great book. I always loved it because it added a sense of another connection of our universe with people vlogging and just doing podcasts to this other galaxy. I just thought it was really funny. And when we saw that scene of him just kicked back at the cockpit, speaking to his little holo projector, I just thought it was so funny.
Oh yeah.
I mean, good on
And
him.
it's not surprising at all.
Yeah, it fits his character.
Like, it's like, he would do that.
One thing that I never considered before Solo, but it didn't speak out against his character, because everything we've known to date about him, his loyalty with Lobot and with the mining colony itself, and with his professional side of himself, it always fit in with it. But his genuine care and concern for the droids around him, like that, like the genuinely sad scene of, and this is spoiler free if you haven't seen Solo.
If you haven't seen Solo and you're listening to this, what the fuck is wrong with you?
True. That's very, like the Kessel mines, when there was the revolt and L337 gets torn apart with gunfire, and Lando's genuine care and sadness to that. I was touched. I was like, this man really does. He's not just this bravado and style. Like, there's some substance behind all of it, and there's a reason for him doing what he does. And I thought that moment of humanity was just wonderful.
Oh yeah, that first time I saw that shit destroyed me. I'm not even gonna lie.
Like, I wasn't even I never really enjoyed L337 like I do the other droids, like C-3PO or R2-D2, for example, because she was a little too human. But I still bought into the idea, okay, this is a droid. And his obsession with keeping her around and allowing her to express herself and to sort of cannibalize other droid parts and creating her own identity. Like, I understood that and I accepted it. And when she made that comment about him wanting to fuck her and her in a kid's movie.
Yeah.
And that it works. It happens. But she's not sure she wants to really, be with him. The absurdity of that, the over-the-topness of it. But I bought into it. Like, I 100%. Like, yeah, that's Lando. I could see him. Like, if they're in the middle of deep space, any port, man. Yeah.
Yeah, it's either a hand or a droid, and something other than your hand's always going to win.
Sometimes they have more than one hand, so or a pen.
Yeah, but it's not yours at least. So,
yeah,
so it's not sad.
Is it though? Is it not? It's weird because, like, thinking about any other appliance, that's kind of how droids are thought of by most people in the Star Wars universe. They're kind of just appliances that, they're like Siri. And I don't know, you attach a sense of AI and humanity to it. It becomes less mechanical and more biological. Maybe the lines blur a little bit. I didn't think it was too far-fetched to think that he would do that. But I could never extrapolate that to our world, because I just don't think we have that extension of, even like sex robots or sex dolls, I guess they are. They're not far enough along for me to rationalize in my head, I want to have sex with this. Like, I'll look at it. Like, that's cool. But I can have sex with real people, so why would I just exclusively want to do that? Yeah,
but see, then you don't have to disappoint the doll. They don't care.
That's a good point. The older I get, the more I disappoint, sadly. Yeah, usually it's the other way around, but not for me. Oh, my wife's going to love this. All right, so we had his Donald Glover's portrayal in Solo, which, to take the Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, where you see Lando in his prime. I mean, he's a straight-up hero. Yeah. A general of the rebellion. Other than Luke Skywalker, no one has blown up a Death Star except for Lando Calrissian. Like, that's badass. Like, not even Han Solo did that. Like,
I he did it stealing his friend's clothes.
Yeah. I mean, just so goddamn cool. Like, he just proves himself from this hero of Endor, of the Battle of Endor. And then we go way back to his very beginning, a decade later. Like, I'm not sure of the time difference. Was it 20 years later that we got Solo from Return of the Jedi? Has it been so long? However many years it was.
Let's see. It was 12 years between that and Empire, so it would have been like 15.
I meant real life years of us watching Return of the Jedi to us watching Solo. Gotcha. Whatever that time frame difference, because we're then needing to
83 to
yeah, I mean,
whatever.
That's like 30 years. I mean, that's a long time. For us to go from hero to right back to basic scoundrel and not really miss a beat. And it's weird because even if it is only under 20 years from scoundrel to hero in the Galaxy's storyline, that still is a large growth when you consider, or a large opportunity for growth when you consider the character didn't really grow that much.
Yeah.
So I always thought that was weird because even at the beginning of Solo, he lost the card, or he won the bet. Solo didn't have the ship that he was supposed to hand over, and Lando just sort of like, okay, whatever. Like, that's a weird... Like, I feel like he would have held that against him.
Well, part of it, too, was they had to get out in a rush. It was like, oh, let's go to the shipyard. And then, oh, shit! There's people coming after us. We got to leave.
Yeah.
So, it's not that far-fetched.
Yeah, okay. So did you think there was any inconsistencies in Glover's portrayal of Lando compared to Williams?
To be fair, I've only seen it like 3 times. So hey, all the other Star Wars movies that I've been able to see in theaters, I've seen like 5 or 6 times before it went out. So that is an only type of thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, I've bought every second of it. I really haven't noticed anything. I mean, to be fair, I also haven't gone into it like, you know, putting on my glasses and my douchebag hat and being like, I'm going to tear this movie apart. That's usually when I have it on Blu-ray.
Yeah. It's coming. It's coming soon.
It's fucking not soon enough.
I agree. I am really looking forward to the release of that damn Blu-ray or the digital version of it, which I always buy. And so, you know, from Solo, we got this one-dimensional version of Lando, like early version of Lando, but Last Shot gave us a much more detailed experience because it shows him in 3 different eras with and without Han, which I thought was really interesting. It showed his again, it reinforces his concern for the droids around him, specifically L3 through 7, but also his willingness to do what is ultimately right, you know, in any, you know, Star Wars given situation, no matter the odds. Like, he is a straight up hero. Oh yeah.
Has, what was it, 4 thermal detonators on him, and he's like, well, I can't get off, so I'm just going to blow this fucker up. Yeah, that screams hero. If that doesn't scream a hero, you're dumb.
Yeah. You're just dumb.
Stupid.
Dummies. I just... This character is just blows me away because you don't need him to be this grandiose, even though within himself, within his character, he's portrayed as this sort of over-the-top character. But when you take a step back and look at the actions, yes, he's a hero, but he's not any grander than any of the other heroes. You know, Luke is literally lifting shit with his mind and, you know, manipulating people with the Force. Han is insanely lucky at every given opportunity.
Yeah.
For some reason, every stupid fucking idea he has comes to reality. And so in Lando's just like, yeah, I'm gonna fuck you over and then I'm gonna help you out, and it always works out. Like he's a believable good bad guy. Which is, you know, he's just not that Luke that's the perpetual Boy Scout.
Yeah.
I love that.
He's real.
Yeah.
Like, Luke was like an angel, and Lando's just straight up like, yeah, we want to do good things, but we're assholes for the most part. And he is the epitome of human.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. So, I don't know, where do you want to go from here? Do you want to talk about speculation? Do you want to talk about his time with Cloud City? Like, where do you think...
We can go speculation afterwards, because that can be an interesting conversation. Let's just, you know, what he's done.
Yeah.
Like, all the stuff. I mean, we've already discussed the smuggling and all that ad nauseum. And then, you know, he goes straight. He opens up a mining colony for Tibian gas. And that was a whole horrible endeavor. Like, oh, let's make shit for blasters. Yeah. Who's it going to? I don't care. Who's paying?
And it's weird because he goes back to Cloud City after the Empire is overthrown, right? And in Last Shot, it explains that he actually becomes like a droid manufacturer of sorts, right?
Yeah. He I forget the actual title. Like, I spent most of the day trying to remember what the title was, and couldn't find it anywhere. But yeah, he after he rescues Cloud City and realizes that's a bust, he ended up just going to droid manufacturing,
which makes perfect sense for him.
Really fucking successful. And yeah, of course, it makes perfect sense, especially after the whole connection between him and L3 in Solo. Mm-hmm. Like, it's just a logical step.
Do you think... So as a character, do you think he got over the loss of L3, or do you think he's always trying to recreate that? And I don't know, I'm asking.
From my interpretation from Last Shot, and spoiler to... Well, I'm not giving away the ending, but... Yeah. To anybody that hasn't read it, like Adam was saying, there's 3 different stages of the book. But towards the end, when he's leaving the giant droid brain thing, I forget what its name is. Yeah, I'm just all kinds prepared today. But when he's leaving that, his rescuer is, an army of L3s, and just the surprise and awe from it blew his mind. Hmm. Like, I don't think he ever actually got over losing her. And I think that's part of the reason why he never really sought out trying to get the Millennium Falcon back, because that is his droid, in a sense.
I cannot help. I have to speculate just a little bit insofar as what you're speaking to. Do you think he is going to ever mention L3 in Episode 9 when he inevitably starts piloting the Millennium Falcon again?
It would have to.
Like, just to pay off
at least
that beginning
a fucking
to end.
nod. Like, just walks in, touches the one panel in the cockpit where he dropped her brain, and says, "Hi, girl."
Oh,
that's all we
I would love that so much.
Yeah, that's all we need. That is all we need. I've already got goosebumps just thinking about that.
That would be so great. I'm such a fucking dork. That excites me so much. That genuinely excites me.
No, same here. Like, I mean, I don't expect them to do anything. Yeah. But for fuck's sake, I mean, just little nod to Solo in that movie. Go a long way.
Brilliant. Come on, JJ. Give us that. It's a half of a line. It's not even a full line. Just give us that. So that would be brilliant. It would immediately connect everything together.
Yeah.
Like everything. Oh, I would love that.
Yeah, that's the thing with the new trilogies. It does feel like a completely separate thing.
Yeah.
Like, even with the prequel trilogy, there's still some things that kind of cross over, but yeah, with this one, it just feels so far removed from the rest of the franchise.
Yeah, I would love it if they could just do little connections like that. It would be brilliant. So yeah, I didn't want to go too far into speculation, but I would definitely wanted to touch on that. That would just be amazing to me.
Oh yeah,
because okay, I'm going to stop talking about it until we get into it.
No, fuck that. Let's get into it right now.
I genuinely think that he is going to be set up because I think there's going to be a huge time jump between 8 and 9. I think there has to be.
It would go with movies.
What's that?
It would go with the rest of the films, so
right.
It makes sense.
But who knows with the new trilogy? But still, I think there's going to be a large time jump simply because the First Order has to... They're very much like sparse at the moment where we left off in Last Jedi as much as the Resistance is.
Yeah.
Like their entire fortress, which was Snoke's ship, is decimated. The fleet is halfway decimated. So it's not like he has this, control over the galaxy type situation.
Yeah.
And so if there is enough time jump, then it is a real underdog versus opposing grand force again, which sort of falls in line with what we know about Star Wars anyway.
Yeah.
But I think, Lando has always been a general from the Endor time. Even if, in Last Shot, we get him coming back and, after he sort of attacked and tried to be assassinated by these droids. I don't want to give away that story because that is a great book and people should read it.
Yeah, that's... If you haven't read anything from the new canon, that's a great entry point.
It really is. You get Leia, you get Lando, you get Han. I can't!
That's fucking me up, man.
Sorry. And you get even a little baby Ben, who acts like a baby because he is literally a baby.
Yeah, he's 2 years old.
But you also get some really great droid personalities in that. Like, really great ones. And you get this really wonderful blend of what makes humanity versus what makes droid, and this mix of humans with droid parts or part droids with. I gotta stop.
Yeah, yeah.
Because that starts getting into weird territory. But like it's exciting. It's a great novel, and it has a really wonderful original type of a theme that L337 explains why Solo is so good. You know, when you read Last Shot. Okay, anyway, I'm gonna stop talking about the fucking book.
Guess we should just do an entire Last Shot show.
Really should. I'm gonna have to listen to it again just so it's fresh, but I think we totally should. Where was it? I don't even know if I was talking about. So we're going into speculation territory. I think he's going to be an established character in the rebellion at this point, or the resistance. I think they're just going to give up with those stupid, First Order and resistance. They're just going to go straight into rebels and Empire.
At this point, there is like the idea of a resistance is asinine, because the whole idea of the resistance wasn't a resistance against the First Order. It was a resistance against the New Republic letting the First Order be a thing. The New Republic, as we know it, because apparently it's only on one fucking planet, is gone.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. 5 planets. Whatever the fuck it was. Some
Hosnium system or something.
Yeah. So the whole New Republic is gone. So what the fuck are they resisting against? Like, they would just be the rebels against the Empire again.
Yeah, exactly. So,
yeah.
And that's paid off by Finn saying that to Phasma, rebel scum. He's like, I can't remember exactly what he said, but or she said like resistance scum. He said rebel scum or something like that, or you're scum, and he's like rebel scum. So he's already broken into that rebel frame for the movies to progress past, which I thought was an interesting slip when they're trying to frame this resistance v First Order. It's not the Empire and rebels, even though, come on.
It's the fucking Empire and the rebels.
Come on.
Yeah.
So I think Lando's going to come in. He's going to be like, I'm sorry, I was with the other remnants of the Resistance doing other things, because there was a lot of other characters that weren't in Last Jedi that were in The Force Awakens, and they're going to be coming back into the party. So we're going to realize where they were, what they were doing. I think he's just going to be a part of that. And I'm hoping there's a point where we get to see Lando and Chewie in the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon and just tearing shit up like we know he's capable of.
Yeah.
Do you think he's going to die?
I do.
Really?
I do. I honestly think a good amount of the characters, like the older characters, are going to die.
I don't want them to die.
I don't want them to,
right.
Of course. I mean, fuck, I was devastated when I found out Chewie died. I didn't even read that fucking book. And when it was bad.
But what a way to go.
Yeah, I was at the gym, of all places, talking to a dude about Star Wars, because that's what you do at the gym. And he fucking told me, and I broke down in tears.
Oh, no! Oh, no.
Yeah, it was... But, yeah, I do honestly believe most of them, if not all of them, are probably going to be offed. Just more or less to make way for the new trilogy. Because, I mean, it would go hand in hand with what they've already done thus far. I mean, with Carrie Fisher excluded, like, they have to obviously kill off her character because she's not here. And that's one thing I was fucking excited about, to find that they had confirmed that she wasn't going to be replaced in the movie. They're
using excess footage for her.
Yeah, it makes me happy.
But I mean, that doesn't mean that they're not necessarily going to kill her off. And I don't think in order to progress past characters, you have to kill them off.
Oh, I agree wholeheartedly. That's just where they've been going so far.
I hate that so much.
Me too. It's lazy.
It is. It's straight up lazy. Like, well, stop thinking about these characters you love so much because we're on the new ones. Well, then don't fucking include them in the story, and we won't fucking focus on them so much.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Like, just let them be in our imagination, like we were talking at the beginning. Let us speculate about what they did, and stop showing their fucking demise, because it's never going to live up to whatever we have built up in our heads. It's just going to upset us.
Yeah, it's bullshit. But to go back to like the start of it, like I really think that should be how it opens up. Is he is the one that gets the communique of the distress signal. Like, it would just make so much sense that he's the one that answers the call that nobody else answered.
Yeah.
And then he shows up with an army, pretty much. But
he could have at this point he could have a droid fucking army.
Yeah, like, very easily. He's
where we left off. He was manufacturing droids. So
yeah, and like one of the biggest droid manufacturers in the galaxy at that.
Wouldn't that be ironic? A droid army against the Empire again.
Oh my god. If they do that, it would make any sense at all, but how great would it be if there was a fucking Mr. Bones cameo?
Oh, there has to be a Mr. Bones.
Well,
because the kid is there. Like Wexley or Jax, whatever his fucking name is. He is there.
Another one.
And he's confirmed to be in the movie. So,
he is?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's
and Mr. Bones was a downloaded template. Like in the comics, he actually sent a digital version of Bones's like mental framework to rescue someone. I can't remember who it was.
Damn.
I'm gonna have to look this up. And the droid went just like Mr. Bones, went crazy and saved the people there. And because the original Mr. Bones was destroyed from the original Aftermath, if I remember correctly.
Did you cry? I cried.
Like listening to the audiobooks, his voice bugged the shit out of me. So I liked the character, but I hated the voice. So I was kind of like in this weird limbo.
That's one of the last series that I bought that was actual like book. Because most of the time it's like, I want to read that, but I don't want to find the book. Oh, just download. But yeah, so the whole Aftermath trilogy, that's actually, I read that. And yeah, it's not a good idea to read stuff like that when you're at work. I'm sitting there behind the desk like, okay.
It was sad though, because the character of Bones did genuinely care about his master, and all he wanted to do was protect him. And there was a real relationship. It was a Lando L3 relationship.
Oh, absolutely. There was
it
wasn't
great.
Droid and master, it was friend and friend. Just plain and simple.
Oh, now I am remembering that moment of them like, and he would always do that weird like master like fuck, okay, I'm sorry, I gotta stop talking about that. I'm gonna freak out. It was sad, but yeah, he did use that same download template of Bones after that point. So it is there. It would be insane if we just saw an army of Boneses.
That'd be awesome.
Tearing through the First Order. No one would understand what the fuck is happening. Like the theater-going audience.
That doesn't matter. You just have one fucking droideka with some wicked crazy arms and a necklace of random bones. Like 1 second. Two frames. Not even a full second. 2 frames. Just give me that. I don't give a shit what you give me. That'd be
awesome.
Great.
It'd be pretty awesome. So you think he's gonna die? Is it gonna be like some heroic last-ditch effort? You think of like, I'm gonna destroy this?
Oh yeah,
whatever.
Yeah, if they kill him, it's gonna have to be in a like just I either die or the galaxy dies type of moment. I mean, I really hope they don't. Like, I think of all the original cast that should stay, it would likely be Lando and Chewie. But yeah, if they do kill him off, it needs to be in like just an extremely ridiculous, like no other option kind of way.
I honestly think, and this is sort of my dream, I think they're going to leave Leia alive, Chewie alive, and Lando alive. They're going to let Lando avenge Han's death by being the one who ends up actually murdering in some mass vehicle type, starship type way, killing Ben. Like, I would love to see him having like, you killed my brother. You know, like this great moment. Like we were friends for. He was the worst scoundrel, a dirty, rotten card player, but he was my friend. You know, and like I would love that revenge story to be told.
That would be awesome.
Please let Lando kill fucking Ben.
At least somebody. I mean, let's be honest. I fucking hate that character.
And I'm not even like...
I like him so much.
Because there is going to be a time jump. Do you think he's going to be a more matured character at this point? Because we didn't have a time jump between 7 and 8. And so he was pretty much the same whiny character. But everyone else, you know, goes through... When they start whiny, they grow, like Darth Vader and Luke did. Same family line. Is he going to grow into this powerful, confident leader, you think?
It would have to. It's just like, especially if they're trying to hit all the same beats of the previous 2 trilogies. Like, he's gonna have to mature, at least a little bit, to where it's not throws temper tantrums and there's always snot and tears running out of his face.
Yeah.
I mean, if they do another, The Last Jedi, where it's literally 2 seconds after the last movie, I'd be fucking livid.
Yeah, that's gonna be terrible video. No one would be happy with that.
No,
They're just it's lazy because there's no development.
Yeah. It's really hard for movies to do that. Like, to be perfectly honest, of all the movies I've ever watched my entire life, there's only 2 franchises I can think that can pull off doing the sequel is like literally right after the first movie, and that's Hatchet, the original trilogy, and Friday the 13th 2 through 4. Because if you think about it, Friday the 13th 2, 3, and 4, that's a weekend.
I have never thought about that.
Now you will
to watch that. And...
yeah.
Sweet. I'm gonna have to check that out and think about that. I hope there's a time jump. I hope. What's the worst way that Lando could go for you, where you would just be totally unsatisfied?
If it was just like a blip, like somebody's sitting on a
like an Akbar
cruiser
ending?
board. No, okay, that was bullshit. But I'm talking like you're sitting on the bridge of a ship and you see the Falcon like way off in the distance. The only reason why you know it's the Falcon is because that little white dot out there is the Falcon. Right. And then turbo laser bolt hits it and just from afar. Like you just see like a little like that. I would get up, I would walk out, and I would just denounce Star Wars.
Seriously?
Well, the new direction of Star Wars at that point.
Yeah. And we can still hold on to what's already happened.
Yeah, of course. That's there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, man, that would be terrible. Yeah, for me, it would be them changing the character. So he no longer has an affinity for droids. He no longer really cares about, the underdog of saving the rebellion that, he literally joined up in order to fight in behalf of. If they pull like this weird, what was that character's name that Lando was originally going to be in The Last Jedi? That Benicio del Toro played. DJ.
Yeah.
They were gonna Lando was either gonna be in the role of, I can't remember these damn names. The little fucking Yoda girl. What's her name? With the big eyes.
Oh, Maz Kanata.
Yeah, he was either going to do the Maz Kanata scene or he was going to do the DJ scene, and they just ended up scrapping them all together.
Oh, thank God. That would have pissed me off.
Yeah, if you turned against Finn and Rose on for that it would have been weird. Yeah.
Well, and the thing is, they've already done that sort of thing, that major flip with a character, like Luke Skywalker. Yeah. But at least with Luke Skywalker, and it sort of makes sense, like his whole going off to an island just to die to avoid all this. Like, there was a damn good reason, not one that we're happy with, but there was a damn good reason. But if he just, Lando comes back in the final movie and he's just like, I'm a grumpy old man and fuck you guys, I don't care about stuff anymore, that wouldn't make any sense at all. Like, from his previous, just how he is as a character.
And we're projecting this idea that he is inevitably going to come in and be a hero and help save the rebellion or the resistance. But what if he doesn't? What if he just comes in and he's like, look, I want to help you out, and I'm going to give you these resources that I have to spare, but I got people I got to look out for back home, and I just can't afford putting all my eggs in your basket. Would that be against the character, you think?
No, I don't think so. Honestly, if that was the case, I think it would be a last second he pops up as the final battle is happening and takes a really crucial shot on somebody. Like, it would be the beginning of the movie, like, oh, well, here's some shit. I got to worry about my family. And then comes in at last second to be, the General Calrissian that he is. Yeah. But I'd honestly, I'd be happier with him just being like, here's what I can give you. sorry, and then that's that, versus him showing up and just being a grump ass.
What if he comes in with a secret? Like, what if he comes in revealing, I've been harboring this secret for all of them for all this time. Like, Luke was married to Mara Jade, and she ended up getting killed by maybe Dark Empire did actually happen with Thrawn before, the movies we actually ended up seeing with The Last Jedi and The Force Awakens. And because it's this dark era, he comes in with these big secrets saying, this is why this stuff happened. This is why these people are the way they are. Like, he is the key to unlocking all the things that the fans are complaining about, in this sort of dark story era. Like, do you think that would be realistic?
Honestly, at this point, nothing would surprise me. And as lazy as that would be, I'd be fine with that. Especially if he said Mara Jade at any point in time. Like, just in passing. Like, I'm pretty sure all the fanboys would have a heart attack and just die over it.
Yeah.
I
feel like if Luke lost his wife, it would put him in a vulnerable position to try to continue, with his Jedi school, but he lost the love of his life. He's in this vulnerable state. Now he's second guessing his nephew. He makes a bad choice in the moment, and that's what pushes him over the edge. Like, that together would
make
ultimately,
perfect sense.
Yeah, it would pay everything off together, because it puts him in a weird mindset to begin with to make those types of mistakes. And even if it's not Mara Jade, if they allude to another potential wife, potential future in the Last Jedi novelization, when the Force was trying to reach out to him, saying, "Hey, we need you, man, come back."
Yeah.
If they use Lando as a bridge to explain further stories, I think that's the best possible way. And it's great to use him as a hero. Like, hey, we're at our wits' end. We're all going to perish. Oh, here's Lando to save the day. I would like that. But I would love it if he had a more substantial role of explaining some stuff that we just aren't aware of, because he has had a relationship with Han. I'm sure when Han was going off and he lost the Millennium Falcon, he was in some contact with Lando.
Oh, of course.
And so I would love to know what that connection, whether it's a off the cuff scene with Maz Kanata and Lando Calrissian talking about the loss of Han, where they both had this really intimate relationship with him, and they're mourning his loss, and they're like, yeah, but I've got his first wife right here. Whatever it is, like,
yeah,
to carry the story forward and to really flesh out some of these ideas. I think he's the bridge to do that.
Yeah.
And it would also explain why he hasn't been involved to date, because he's been harboring whatever it is, and he hasn't wanted to get involved because of the weight of that knowledge or whatever it is. I don't know. I just think there's real great storytelling opportunities to include him now that we know he is going to be included.
Oh, yeah.
I think it would be a disappointment if he was just hero at the end to save everyone.
Oh, yeah, definitely. There's no justice to the character.
Yeah. All right. Well, do you have any other thoughts? We haven't even talked about pansexuality.
No, we need to get onto that one, because now that Adam knows what it is.
I don't. I want to, but I don't.
Kinda. I don't really know it.
Okay, so let's get into it, because originally, and we talked about this early on, when Solo was released, I think it was Donald Glover, right, that said that...
Well, no. Okay, so what had originally happened was one of the writers was being interviewed and just made an off-the-cuff reference of Lando being pansexual. And for those who don't know what pansexual is, I think I've still got it pulled up for the exact words. Okay, pansexual, as defined, is not limited in sexual choice with regard to biological sex, gender, or gender identity. And yeah, one of the writers had said something about it, and I guess Donald Glover had overheard it, and when he was being interviewed and that got brought up, he's like, well, yeah, it just makes sense. He's down in space. Why the fuck wouldn't he want to bang everything?
I mean,
we
talked about it already.
Well, okay, here's my biggest thing. So, if you've ever read any of the books, whether it's canon or legends, not all species are humanoid. Obviously, not all species are humanoid, and even some humanoid species aren't all the same. Like, there's not just a male, female, or other gender. There's some species where there is a whole spectrum, like 7, 8 different genders. And it's Lando fucking Calrissian who can, nab any pelt that he wants. It just makes sense that he's going to be like, I don't know what you are, but you're gorgeous. Hey. Like, it's just kind of a duh type of thing.
I dig it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I would totally be like that if I was in that.
Yeah.
If I was Lando, like 100%. Why wouldn't you? It doesn't make sense that he wouldn't. The definition is what eludes me, and that's what blows my mind, because it's regardless of biological gender, which is boy and girl, or gender identity, which is boy and girl, whether you originated as a boy or girl or not. Yeah. Like, it's still just boy and girl, whether you were born that way or you weren't born that way. It's still just boy or girl. That sounds like bi to me. And so I struggle in my mind to understand the difference between bi and pansexuality, and I don't buy the idea that, well, it's because a boy started as a boy but ended up being a girl, a bi person wouldn't want to be with that. But if it's a girl and they like them, they would. So it's just being bi. Like, I just don't understand the minutia of sexuality required in order to understand the difference between bi and pan. But I don't really care, to be honest. Like, I buy into like Lando Calrissian being pansexual, and I'm totally fine with it. I don't give a fuck. It doesn't change the character. In fact, it just reinforces what I probably suspected in the first place.
It makes him that much fucking cooler.
Yeah, I would have sex with an alien. I would 100%. I've had dreams about having sex with aliens.
Who fucking wouldn't?
Have you ever had a dream about having sex with an alien before?
Yeah, duh. I mean,
like mine was like this weird long. The lead singer of the Max Rebo band in Jabba's palace, how she has like that little snout thing. Like, as a kid, it wasn't her. It was just an alien like that, where it had this weird, long, little, like, lip tube thing. Like, I totally fucked that.
Hey, you know what? There's a great many aliens, even just in the Star Wars universe, that I would totally do. Yeah. Like, the Rhodian ones that were in Jabba's palace. I mean, fuck. I mean, of course.
Boba Fett was hobnobbing with him.
Yeah, I would prefer Ula if we were, if I had a choice, because Twi'leks, duh. But yeah, who gives a shit?
Yeah,
they're there. Why not?
I tell you what,
it made me laugh so much when that interview came out. Like, so many fucking people were throwing a fit. And it's like, have you never fucking watched Star Wars? Like, have you not ever read into the way he talks? And like, that motherfucker just has the aura of, I just got laid 5 seconds ago. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it here in like 5 minutes. So, hey, like, that is what I get from that character anytime he talks. It's just that aura of
that sinister sexuality.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. It says more about the people who are offended by it than it does about the character for being that.
Yeah.
It just doesn't. And you would think it's 2018. Like, come on. It's 2018. I'm blown. And being a younger person, whenever you heard that, it's 2000, is the year 2000. Come on. It was like, yeah, but it's only 2000. But it's 28 fucking teen. Like, come on. I'm 40. Can't we just get past sexuality by now? Like, I'm 40. There have been hundreds and thousands of years of human evolution. At what point are we just going to admit that, okay, yeah, we're dirty, disgusting animals and we fuck whatever we want to fuck? Like,
pretty much.
Why is it a thing ever?
Well, and yeah, the thing I don't understand about the whole idea of sexuality being taboo is, I mean, for one, everything fucks, period. Like, how the fuck do you think procreation happens? Or, like, that's what it is. Things have sex. And it's very well documented in other species of homosexual relationships, bisexual relationships. Like, My fucking household's a great example. All my cats fuck. They're all dudes. I guarantee I could bring a girl cat in here, and at least one of them would probably try to fuck her. It's just...
What, are you running a prison in there?
Dude, I've got a cage next to me. Yeah.
We call it Shawshank.
Pretty much. They're turds.
You're going to swallow what I give you to swallow. That's fucked up.
Yeah, let's not.
Sorry, people. I'm sorry. I was watching Castle Rock last night, and now I have Shawshank stuck in my head, and I can't forget those traumatic moments in Shawshank. So I'm past it now.
I was just watching The Last Man on Earth, and that's what's been in my head. So I'm at that point where they start role playing as characters in that movie.
Nice.
Yeah.
Totally jumped the shark on this one.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, as far as the sexuality thing goes, don't give a fuck. I still love Lando. I don't care if he was exclusively fucking robots and he hated having sex with humans or aliens. I don't care. Like, it's still Lando. Like, it doesn't matter. It's still him. Like,
yeah, and I can understand it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking people. Fuck them.
Having dealt with people for 40 years, don't care for it. No thanks.
That's true. That is very true.
I get it. Oh, man. This has been great.
Yeah, it's been pretty fun.
It's one of those episodes. It's just, we get to spitball the whole time. We don't have to worry about getting deep into lore, and we just get to have fun talking about Lando.
Love these ones.
And my inability to say fucking Han until the very end.
Yeah, until the very end. Oh man, that was rough.
You're just
well,
like,
only one person in this world can say that, and you're no Lando Calrissian. Sorry.
I know.
I had to say it.
Not for a lack of trying, but I know.
No. Because you got to shave the rest of this, man, and have that little pencil mustache.
Oh, dude, if I could. I just have like 3 hairs that hang down like a rat. And I just shampoo them so they look thicker. But I could never do the pencil. Oh, okay. Well, that is the show, people. Thank you.
Yep, that's a good ending point.
Thank you so much for joining us on this exploration of Lando Calrissian. Our next show is going to be another HoloNet news show, and we have a lot of exciting news.
Yes, indeed.
A lot that just dropped on us, like the Clone Wars, like Resistance, like Episode 9. We got a lot to talk about, and I'm sure before we get to air the next episode, there's going to be even more. The streaming services on top of it. I want to know more about the series that's coming out by Favreau. I want to know about the Benioff and Weiss series that's coming out on the streaming service. Like, they need to give us some deets.
Mm-hmm. Even just some screenshots, that's all we need.
Yeah, give us a trailer of Resistance. I want to see it.
That actually did surprise me about Comic-Con. I was really expecting for that to happen. Mm-hmm. Definitely wasn't expecting Clone Wars to be brought back.
I was stunned. I genuinely thought it was over. I'd love... let's not get into it now. Let's save it for the next show.
You guys got 2 weeks, and then you can listen to that shit.
Yeah, they're all going to be like Clone Wars out. Speculationed out by the time we get to it, but we're still going to do it. So
hell yeah, we'll
deal with it, people. Thank you all for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel and click that little bell icon if you want to be notified about the next show. Watch the show live. Of course, we're here live in the YouTube verse. Is that a thing? You can always interact with us, and if other audience members are there, you can interact with them too. Doesn't happen, but it could happen.
It could, once or twice.
It could. And of course, you can always contribute to the show by sending us your I am a Scruffy Looking Nerf Herder videos or audio clips. And you can email, what's the email address?
That is theinfernalbrotherhood@gmail.com.
Yes, and you can always leave us a voicemail at the Google voicemail number of 801-899-6168. No one will pick up but Google, and then you can just say it right there, and we'll just slap a Star Wars face over the audio file, and it'll be funny and awesome.
You could even tell us what face you want to be.
Ooh, yeah.
Just a thought.
Who wants to be Sliced Noodles? It's not a character, but I think it is. It should be. Sliced Noodles is a character, right?
I don't know.
It has to be. We've had this conversation before, but it has to be. Damn it. I swear he's in Jabba's palace somewhere. Anyway, hold on. Let me get back to here, so we're not showing Lando in the background the whole time. Be sure to let us know what you think about this. Of course, we are now an audio podcast as well. If you don't catch us live, you can check us out at Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher. I submitted us to Spotify. Haven't heard back yet. They may have rejected us outright. I get it. But we're out there.
Fair enough.
And we have a new website, right?
Hell yeah, we do. I even put a blog up.
Hell
I did a
yeah.
technology thing.
So if you're not just into, not sliced noodles, Shauna, slice noodles. Sliced noodles. Come on now. I feel like you're just trolling me at this point.
Bro, hey, at least we got somebody.
Yeah, my wife. I mean, a total stranger. I don't know this person.
Total stranger.
See, that totally threw me for a loop. Where were we? Okay, yeah, so we have a website. Not only are you going to get the audio and video podcasts on the website, but you're also going to get the blogs that Cameron just spoke to. And we're going to be trying to release a couple of those a month just to give you a little bit of intermediary show content. Because let's face it, there's enough to talk about that we can do it as long as time allows. And we now have a Facebook page too, right?
Hell yeah, we do. And I might actually update it sometimes.
Oh, shit!
Actually, I did today. So you should go like it. So we go from 14 to 15 people.
Like the Facebook page, people, because it's Star Wars.
Yes. That's all you need to know. Just fucking like Star Wars shit.
Star Wars.
We're Star Wars shit, so like it.
So until the Infernal Brotherhood convenes yet again, my fellow Scruffy Looking Nerf Herders, may the Force be with you.
Lando's not a system. He's a man.
That was good.
I've been holding on to that one.
Princess Moon.